Rocket League is one of the largest esports on the planet, drawing in tens of thousands of viewers for competitive pro play. The skills you need to play at this level require a mastery of three main mechanics: aerials, dribbling, and car control, all of which blend together to show some of the most impressive feats in all of gaming. The competitive scene isn't the only place these skills are on display at the highest level, as a dedicated speedrunning community has developed for the game, which requires complete control and mastery of the mechanics to achieve world record times. Today we'll be looking at the different types of speedruns for Rocket League, which mechanics they require, and the most difficult tracks that have been created, all in the name of going fast and testing skills. And one more thing, be sure to stick around until the end of the video for a special challenge for any pro Rocket League players. There are three main mechanics that you need to understand which are crucial to achieving a world record in Rocket League: boosting, jumping, and the ability to handle the ball. To help learn the mechanics, the game has a tutorial system and runners have routed speedruns for each of them, so let's have a look at the basics before diving into the more advanced applications. Moving the vehicle is fundamental, and what is Rocket League without rocket boosts that allow you to fly around the map at top speed? By jumping and boosting, you're able to use the propulsion to direct your vehicle around the map, performing what is known as an aerial. In addition to enabling flight, the jump has a secondary application. By tapping the button twice, you can do a flip that can be used for quick repositioning or to reach top speed without consuming boost. The flip does have a limitation. If you wait longer than 1.5 seconds after jumping, you'll lose the use of it until you land on all four tires again. But if you drive off of a surface without jumping, the 1.5 second restriction to the flip doesn't apply until you use the jump. Dribbling is the last mechanic we'll look at, and it's one of the most impressive, as it uses the fundamentals of movement to control the ball and place it in key positions while moving. There are many different ways to dribble, with jumps and flips being used in combination with the boost for some fantastic displays. There's also the technique where you drive under the ball and maintain constant contact. The most impressive of the ball control techniques is air dribbling, commonly referred to as aerials, the ability to juggle a ball while performing a rocket boost. It's one of the most skill-testing and satisfying to watch mechanics in the entire game, and the dribble speedruns make great use of it throughout their challenges. While some of these mechanics tutorials may look easy, I assure you that things couldn't be further from the truth. A glance at the leaderboards shows that lots of these are timed down to the millisecond, and while they may look easy, the amount of timing and precision to gain milliseconds for a world record requires nerves of steel and hours of practice. With the exception of the tutorials, the majority of speedrunning is done on custom maps created by the community. Since the fundamentals break down in three domains: dribbling, flying, and car control, it's natural that the custom maps each cover one of these mechanics. The first we'll be looking at are what is known as ring challenges, and these have two popular maps: Amirs Giant Rings and Panic's Air Race. Based on the name, you likely guessed that this is a flying challenge, and unlike in Superman 64, the mechanics on display are mind-blowing. For ring challenges that are airborne, using the boost no longer has the meter drain. This means that almost the entire challenge takes place in the air, which has led to small but important mechanics being incorporated into the speedrun, such as boost feathering, ring bounces, and jump resets. Boost feathering is a mechanic that helps adjust your speed. Instead of holding the button down, you'll tap it just enough to maintain your line and velocity. And on ring challenges, the execution requirements are turned up to 11. On aerial maps, it can be hard to judge your speed, as there aren't markings or terrain for reference points to help indicate how fast you're going. And if you take a corner too fast, you'll be out of position for the correct line, which is why feathering helps to adjust speed on the fly. One such instance being downward sections, as it's faster to be falling at a slight angle with a boost than it is to free fall, since the acceleration from gravity isn't faster than a well-angled boost. Feathering is also great for maintaining speed through wide turns, as it allows you to maintain position and velocity with expert precision. But when turns get tight, there's another trick you can use: ring bounces. Ring bounces are essentially pogo stick jumps off of a ring, where the car collides in such a way that you conserve momentum while changing the angle of your flight. They are very tricky to pull off correctly, but are required to achieve the fastest possible times through tightly curved sections of the track. Take this part from Amirs' Neon Heights map, where after a downward approach, you need to make a sharp turn up and to the left while at maximum velocity. Using a ring bounce, you can feather the boost and maintain more speed going into the corner. If the bounce is done correctly, you'll be positioned to fly through the next section with some momentum carrying through the contact with the ring. The cool thing about ring challenges is that aside from the 2 extra mechanics, you're still required to have complete control of the car, rotating its pitch, yaw, and roll in midair. Panic's air race even uses the gates on the map as places to land the car to reset the flip, which allows for tighter lines that sacrifice the minimal amount of speed. This is perhaps the speedrun that has the most carryover from the vanilla game, as you're dribbling the ball from one point to the next in a series of challenges with increasing difficulty. There's just one catch with these dribbling speedruns. You're not allowed to let the ball touch the ground. Driving under the ball is the best way to progress in this floor is lava style speedrun, but there are ways to cut corners. By using a flick, you can send the ball flying ahead of your car, which has 2 applications: getting the ball to the checkpoint if you have a shot on the finish lined up, or performing an aerial. Aerial dribbles are used in some sections of these levels to reduce the distance to the finish line. The ball can't touch the ground, but that doesn't mean the car has to stay grounded, or even in line with the track. With the early challenges, you can start driving on the track and then fly the ball to the finish without much of an issue, allowing you to clear some quick checkpoints. But the later sections are where things start to get really interesting. High walls and moving obstacles were added to stop players from being able to fly to the end on some of the levels, which puts a larger emphasis on timing and the ability to drive around moving objects. As you progress to the later challenges, gaps and low-to-the-ground objects appear that require the use of juggling and aerials, all while feathering the boost so that you maintain a parallel speed to that of the ball. The current record for the Dribbling Challenge 100% is a 5:45 by Elexit. It contains no resets on any track and is pure execution from the first challenge all the way to the 30th, which more than warranted this pop-off.
Yes! Yes! Putain! Yes!
A lot of the speedruns for Rocket League focus on ball management and aerials, but there are obvious things to do with a car aside from play airplane soccer, and that's race. Custom tracks have been created where players compete in time trials for top times, with some levels from other games also being featured. And what would this channel be if I didn't talk about Mario Kart every chance I had? If you've ever wondered what a Rocket League vehicle would look like on Rainbow Road or Luigi's Mansion, look no further. But perhaps the most interesting is the Ice Ice Outpost track from Mario Kart 8. Using all of the car's handling mechanics, the track feels as though it was designed for Rocket League, as flips for repositioning and small power slides come into play, with the double track even being switched up for maximum time save. Perhaps the most interesting is the shortcuts intended for the carts, which are used for jump resets and to re-angle the car in a similar method to the ring bounce. There are lots of custom tracks to look at if you're interested, and it's very unique to see cars designed for playing soccer engage in racing along tracks, but we have one more mechanic to focus on: aerial dribbling. The course for aerial dribbling resembles the hoops game mode in Rocket League, as the objective is to dribble the ball while performing an aerial and land a goal inside of the hoop on the 21 different tracks contained in the speedrun. Unlike the more vanilla dribble challenge, it doesn't have the rule that the ball can't touch the ground. Instead, it places gaps between the starting area and the hoop, where you're forced to commit to an aerial to complete the track. Level 6 is a great example of this, where you have to do a jump shot onto 3 levels of platforms before making it to the hoop. There was a speed strat found where you could skip the last jump and fly under the platform, juggling the ball as close as possible to the ceiling to make the shot with expert precision. Things get even harder when you have to drive up walls and orient the car in midair, while juggling to make a shot that's behind your line of approach. These 180-degree aerial turns and courses that start with a ball being passed make the end of this challenge a display of pure mastery. But there's one track that takes every previous mechanic and pushes it to the absolute limit. Amirs Dribbling Challenge, created by the Rocket League YouTuber of the same name, presents a track that challenges every core and advanced mechanic in the game. It contains 30 challenges of varying difficulty and clocks in around 15 minutes when playing at the highest level. Out of the gate, you're doing ground dribbles through tight corridors that have long zigzags around each obstacle, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Aerials, multi-platform juggling, and upside-down flick shots are just some of the things you'll see on this track as you progress through its challenges. The moving obstacles are present for both ground dribbling and aerial tracks, with some ring sections thrown in for added challenge. This is the premier track for testing your skills with the game's mechanics. Level 9 has a string of different skills tested, where you start with a 180 off of a ramp into an aerial, then land on a platform with moving pillars and hurdles to dribble and juggle your way to the checkpoint. Level 18 has a pinch shot where the ball is jammed between a wall and the car to send it flying into the air, allowing an aerial follow-up to create a shortcut to the finish line, cutting out a significant portion of the track. There are simply too many crazy things on this track to cover, so if you want to see more, I've linked the world record down below, and it's well worth the 15 minutes if you want to see a pro player take on a speedrun. That was just a taste of what the speedrunning scene can offer, as there are more maps being worked on every day. But there's one more piece of business to address before we end the video. The speedrunners featured in this video would like to issue a challenge to any professional Rocket League players. A 2-part test of skill, where everybody plays through a custom speedrun track, and then the pros take on the speedrunners in a 3v3 match, best of 3, all for bragging rights. If you're a pro player and are interested in this challenge, drop me a line in the Discord link below, or contact me on Twitter or through email, and we'll work out the details. Until next time, and I'll see you guys in the next video.